Why is it important to live in a social environment? That is what we're talking about today here on Senior Living Live. Welcome everybody to Senior Living Live. My name is Chris, and as you can see, we are in a slightly different environment here. We are down in Florida at one of the Arbor Company communities, the Preserve at Palm Air in Pompano Beach, Florida. So it's nice and sunny and bright out here. We're having a great time. And so we're taking the show on location. But before I get too far into that and introduce you to my wonderful guests here, let me tell you a little bit about Senior Living Live. So this is a show that we do every week. We go live on Fridays at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Time. We go live to Facebook, actually every single Arbor Company community Facebook page, as well as the Arbor Company's Facebook page. We're on YouTube. We're like everywhere. We're just posting it all over the place. And you can also watch it at seniorlivinglive.com, and there you can find links to our previous episodes. This is episode number 22. And so this is a show, Senior Living Live, is designed for you. It's designed to give you the information you need to answer your burning questions, to kind of pull back the curtain a little bit on any topic related to senior living, so that ultimately you can live the life that you want to live. That is our goal, and that's what we're trying to help you do, whether that you move into a beautiful community like the Preserve at Palm Air here, or some other community. That's fine. We're just hoping that you can get the information that you need. So I talked a little bit about the Preserve at Palm Air, and I am joined by a fantastic team here today. I've got Mike Kaminsky, who's the dining director. How are you doing today, Mike?
Doing well, thank you.
Thank you. Melanie White is our executive director. I started to say something different. And then Paul Kelly, you have seen before on Senior Living Live. He is our resident musician and operations vice president at the Arbor Company, and he has gracefully joined us again today. So we've got an episode today. We're talking about the importance of socialization in senior living. Why is that important? I mean, I'm an introvert. Why do I want to be social?
Well, I think it is important. I think, a lot of times as, folks age a little bit, they stay home, and they tend to kind of inadvertently isolate themselves a little bit more from the outside world, and especially from friends. Maybe going out to somewhere is a little more difficult physically, so they stop doing that. And so by changing their lifestyle to living in a senior living community, they have much easier access to friends and social contacts, and they have a little bit of assistance if they need it to help get out and do what they used to do out in the community as well.
And so I think that's a great point that you make, that you're living in your home and you're happy there, you got all your stuff and everything, but maybe things have changed a little bit health-wise or ability-wise or just energy-wise, right? And it's you're not quite as energetic when you're just by yourself, or maybe just a couple of people. So, I mean, Melanie, do you see that when people move in here, they start experiencing the activity calendar and the dining? We're going to get to the dining part,
right.
But I mean, what do they feel?
Absolutely. I mean, that's one of the things you find. A lot of people will say, well, I used to do this, but I don't anymore because I can't get to the bridge game to play anymore. I used to play bingo, but I don't anymore. I used to go to the movies. Well, what we find is when they move in, they have all of that so close, right in the building. So they can play bingo, they can play bridge, they can play canasta, they can go to the movies, hear a great lecture, just the musical entertainment, and that just helps so much with your attitude. A lot of times when they're living at home, they're suffering from depression because they just they think more about all those things they can't do. So here they make new friends and they can do all those things again, and they start coming out of their shell again.
So Mike, you've kind of worked in different Arbor communities, you worked in different Arbor roles. I mean, you were in engagement for a little while, our activities program, as well as now in dining. So what do you see as people kind of coming out of their shell, as Melanie said?
Dining plays a huge role with socialization, getting people out, making new friends. We want them to relive their glory days and tell us their stories about their wedding and how many grandkids they have. And when you have a great dining experience, you can really do that. You're not worried about the food and the quality. You get to enjoy your friends and your family. So we really try to promote that and have the residents feel like this is their home and invite their friends over for dinner.
Yeah, I want to come over for dinner.
You're welcome anytime.
That's fantastic. Maybe I'll have lunch here today. So what do you tell someone who is thinking about moving into a community? They live alone, and they're happy living alone. They're happy, kind of just doing their own thing. I said I'm an introvert. I enjoy my alone time.
Well,
Why is this important for them?
because you have your own apartment, you can have that alone time. We certainly don't force anybody to come to any type of activity that is planned, but just being around other people, even if you're in your own apartment, you have access to those people, plus nutritious meals that they're probably not getting at home. And they normally find they make at least one friend. So they may not be out doing all the activities, but now they have a friend that they can share things with. And maybe they visit each other in their apartments and talk and have conversations. They found somebody that they have something in common with. So even if you don't have to be a social butterfly to enjoy what we have to offer and to reap the benefits, even if you're used to being in your own apartment. I'm the same way. I say when I retire, I just want to sit in front of my TV. But we all know that everybody needs somebody to talk to.
Yeah.
So.
And Paul, I know we've talked about it before, but what is there are health benefits of living in a social environment too, right?
Well, I think, the biggest thing that I've seen is that sometimes people's outlook on life changes. As Melanie was saying, when you live alone and you don't have a lot of interaction with other people, you kind of normally tend to kind of start thinking about what you've lost in life, what I can't do. And I think what we see when folks move into a nice community like Preserve is that they have a little more of a mindset on, I can do this, I can, instead of being troubled about what am I going to fix myself for dinner, it's just a matter of I'm going to go down to our restaurant dining room and just be served dinner, and it becomes a social time, not a chore, not a housework chore anymore. And something as simple as, leaving their apartment, going to dinner, and when they come back, the housekeeper's been to their apartment and freshened it up, and cleaned it up, and tidied it up, and those types of things. Maybe there's a few people that enjoy doing them. I personally don't, but having those types of things done so that the focus of your life can be, great social interaction and doing things that you really just want to do. And even if that is just sitting in your chair and watching CNN all day long, if that's what you want to do, that's fine. But you have the opportunity to do plenty of other things as well.
Yeah, it's funny you talk about not wanting to do your housekeeping because that's provided in all of our senior living communities. But just earlier today, your mom was making fun of you because you cleaned your house over the weekend. Right. So, I guess she knows that about you as well, right?
She knows that was a red letter date that I cleaned the house this weekend.
I think that the other side of it that I see, and why don't we just wait for the airplane to go by? The nerve of this guy. No, we're near an airport. Yeah. So one of the things that I have heard and I have seen in the communities too is there's the socialization that's sort of the fun side of it, and talking with people, but also you've got people who've got your back, who are looking out for you, and who are noticing if something changes or if you're not feeling well or something. And so there's a safety aspect too, right? Do you see that?
Quite often the residents, especially in independent living, they look out for each other. In assisted living and memory care, we have the care staff, not that the residents don't look out for each other, but with independent living, they are often the ones that see the changes first in somebody's memory. If they're, used to having dinner with them every night and they start to notice that they're not remembering things or some of their habits have changed. And so they do look out for each other and they do let us know so that we can check in on them.
And then once then you can check in, you can talk to the family, you can do all that. Yeah. So let's talk a little bit more about dining. So dining is a social affair, right? I mean, the most popular room in anyone's house typically is their kitchen because we gather around food. When there's birthday parties, we have food. When there's celebrations, there's always food, right?
Always food.
There's always food in life. So, I mean, do you see that a lot? Do people enjoy their dinner time conversation, and that it continues to be social?
They do. This is where our residents get an opportunity to shine. They get to talk about how they were doctors and lawyers and the accomplishments that they made in life. And again, taking away the dining experience from a chore to serving to now they get to be pampered and they get to enjoy the perks of their retirement. And that's, to me, there's no better job than someone saying that was a delicious meal, thank you. So that's my job, and I enjoy that so much.
And certainly, I mean, we saw him last night at dinner. You were running around, and he's like in his nice tie and everything. We made him take the tie off to be out here in the sun. But yeah, I mean, it's a full service dining operation that you do 3 meals a day.
3 meals a day.
In two different dining rooms at this community.
We have 3 different dining rooms. We have the independent, the memory care, and the assisted living dining room. And each one of those dining rooms have specific tastes and are catered to each different resident and the clientele there.
Right.
Okay. That, yeah, and every community is a little bit different, but that's typical, of a community like this. So, just kind of in closing, I guess one of the questions that I like to ask everyone is, assume the people who are watching at home, they're either thinking about taking this next step into senior living, or at least it's crossed their mind. What advice do you have for them? And maybe we can just go down, starting with you, Mike.
Just try it out. Take a step, come over for dinner, come over for lunch. You can sit and enjoy, meet a couple of new friends. Even if you don't move in, it's a way for you to meet some friends. And we offer lots of social engagements. Tonight we're going to have Fancy Friday with drinks and appetizers and live music. So it's just a way for you to have social gatherings.
And you do theme nights like that?
We do theme nights, yep.
That's
And we have 007 night with martinis, so we do different kinds.
Sign me up. And Melanie, what advice do you have for someone?
And same thing, it doesn't cost anything to come by. And I think you can do all the research on the internet or by calling people, but I think you need to go to a community near you and experience it. And
get a feel.
Right, that doesn't mean you have to move in, you don't have to make a decision that day, but the only way to see it is, the best way to see it is to actually be there.
Yeah, in a previous episode's comments after the fact, someone commented that, they're going to ask you to do a credit history check as soon as you walk in. And
No.
Oh my goodness, like if someone asks you to do that, then leave. You're not going to the right place. But we certainly don't do that. We're not going to make you sign up or anything. It's totally low pressure, and because we want people to be happy ultimately.
Right.
Paul, any advice for folks?
One thing I wanted to add to that, I think, allow our team to educate you. Just like you said, that is probably a red flag, but our team can educate you on what you should be looking for, whether you choose an Arbor company community or another provider. We can educate you what to look for.
Yeah, we want people to live the life that they want to live, and we also recognize that people don't do this every day.
Right.
I mean, this group of people, they do this every day, but you don't. And this is probably the only time you've ever had to do this in your lifetime, and so it's a new experience for a lot of people.
And it's important for us, even if we are not the right solution to people, we try to be a resource. So, we can understand your needs and help you find what the right solution is, even if it's not us.
And that's a fantastic service that you're able to provide, and you do that. So I know people appreciate that. Well, thank you for this fantastic conversation.
Thank you.
So this is Senior Living Live, as we said before. If you would like to see previous episodes of Senior Living Live, head over to seniorlivinglive.com. And there you can click links. You can watch them on Facebook or YouTube if you don't do the Facebook thing. And also, we've got a contest running right now that is running through today, but we'll leave it up at least through the end of the day today. Last week in our episode, we had Nancy Kreisman on, who's a licensed clinical social worker, great friend of the Arbor Company. She's an author, has written several books, and so we're giving away some of her books. So I don't know if you have a copy, but you could go enter the contest right now. It's open to anybody. But if you head over to seniorlivinglive.com, you can enter that. We've got a few entrants. We want to leave it open at least through the end of the day today, and we will contact you via email or Facebook, whichever information you gave us, and let you know if you won, and you get a free book, and we'll ship it to you.
Awesome.
Great.
Seems like a